Good evening, bookies. My name is Hannah, and today we are doing a book haul. So it's been a hot minute since I've done a book haul, and today I decided to go over the 18 books that I bought this week. Some of them are new, I've never heard of them. Some of them I've been meaning to buy for a while, and one of them is a repeat buy, excuse me, Charlie, that I've been meaning to buy for a really long time. So let's get into it. So the first one we're going to start off with is the repeat book that I had to buy. I loaned this book out to a friend, a family friend, a old co-worker, old boss. It's a really kind of complicated thing, but I loaned it out to her, and I loaned out the first one. This is the second one in a series. I loaned out the first one, and I'm not expecting to get it back. I have the dust jackets, and they haunt me every day, but I've been wanting to catch up on the series and reread the series, and so I decided that while I have the chance, I'm going to buy the second one, and it's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I loaned this out to a friend, and I'm never going to get it back, so I had to rebuy the second one, especially with me loving Crescent City recently. I know that I have to reread ACOTAR, so wish me luck with that. So the next book I bought is Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is about a group of characters who are recently graduating from the academy, which I'm guessing is space. But they find this girl who's been in cryo sleep in space, and I love everything about space. How many times am I going to say it? So I've heard a lot about this book. I love the cover. I think it's gorgeous, and so I had to pick it up. So the next one I bought is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This is apparently about an assassin, or a girl who tries to get revenge for her father being executed for being a traitor, and she has to go through all these trials in order to become an assassin, in order to get revenge. It sounded interesting. I've read one book from Jay Kristoff. Psych. I haven't even read a single book from Jay Kristoff, so that's two that I have so far, and I'm super excited to get to them. Alright, so if you know me or know any of the things that I love from books, I love girls who dress up as boys, as like disguises. I absolutely love that trope. I think it's a really, really fun trope, and this book has it, and it's Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. The main character dresses up as a guy in order to go into this competition for tailors, which is like they're only allowing men. Women can't be tailors in this city or world, I'm not sure. And so she goes to be in this competition, and it's all like treachery and all this fun stuff, and like it's pretty much everything I hope for in like a girl dressing up as a guy book, so I'm glad I got it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Plus the cover is just gorgeous. The next book I have is The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. This is about a queen. I can't even pronounce her name. I'm sure I'll pronounce it wrong even in my own head. But this is about a Scottish queen who has to like save her country from a war and keep like the old ways, and it's like I've heard a lot of things of it being Outlander meets Camelot, and I love Outlander, so I'm super glad about having this book. I don't know who actually recommended this to me. I think it was one of the booktubers I watched. I'm not 100% sure who, but they were doing book recommendations, and this one was one of them, so I got it. Testing it out. The next book I have is apparently a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I love girls dressing up as guys, but I love fairy tale retellings. They are my jam. I will read them for the rest of my life if I had to choose. So the book is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I always say her last name wrong. But this is about an autumn prince who is forced to relive the last autumn of his 18th year until he gets a girl to fall in love with him. And every year at the end of autumn, he turns into this horrible beast and destroys everything. And then there's this character, what's her name? Harper, and she's got a really like troubled home life. Her mom is dying, and she has cerebral palsy. So she accidentally falls into the world of the Autumn Prince, and she's got to kind of figure out how to break the curse, and it just sounds like Beauty and the Beast, and I am for it. So the next book I have is Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. This is about a girl named Nora, I believe. Nora, okay, so her name is Nora. She's a witch, or she's rumored to be a witch in her town, which is surrounded by haunted woods, but she's always just got a connection with these woods. And she finds a boy who went missing in the woods for weeks in the snowstorm, and he shouldn't be alive, but he doesn't have any memory of what happened to him in that time. So I think it's kind of just a little trip or a story of them trying to unlock his memories and all the secrets of the woods, and it sounds interesting. I haven't read her other book, The Wicked Deep. So, I mean, I want to read all of my TBR soon. I always say I'm so excited to get to them, but I never get to them. But this one sounds so good, and I really, really do want to get to this one. And the cover is just gorgeous. So the next book is Song of the Crimson Flower by Julie C. Dow. And this is about a girl named Lan who, or Lan, I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll pronounce it differently when I actually read it. But she rejects this boy when he says he's in love with her, and she immediately regrets it and goes back to say like sorry to him or like make up with him, and only finds his flute. So she takes his flute intending to find him, and it turns out that he was cursed and his soul was put into the flute, and together they have to figure out how to break the spell, which I think is said only love can break the spell. And I mean, I feel like I've got like a theme going with these books I've got so far. You'll see more like later, but I feel like it's like true love will break the curse or something like that, like books so far, and I'm into it. I think it's one of my favorite kinds of books. So the next book I have is East by Edith Pitot. This is about a girl who makes a deal with a polar bear that her family will live in happily and healthily, and she has to go live with him, and she ends up having to go on this little adventure and try to figure out things that is going on in his castle. It gives me the Golden Compass vibes. I know that the Golden Compass movie didn't go along with the books at all, but I think it's the polar bear that gets me. But like the cover, I love this cover. I think she's so pretty. I'm into it. I used to think this was Ice. So I used to think this was Ice by Sarah Beth Durst, which I still need to read. I thought this was this, which I mean you can kind of see the resemblance, but now that I've got both, it's like probably should have been a little smarter about that. But this is a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale. What? I feel like they've almost got the same story. This girl has to go live with a polar bear and be his bride in order to free her mother, who was swept away by a polar bear. And this is about a girl who has to go live with a polar bear to help her family. Alright, I'm into it. So the next book I'm going to show you guys is the next book on my TBR. I'm going to read this when I'm done with ACOTAR, I promise. And it is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is about a girl who is an artist, and she paints for the Fae because she's just that good of a painter. And she paints the prince. I think it's a prince. Yes, the Autumn Prince. See, there's like a small theme going on. You can connect a book with a book. But she paints the Autumn Prince, and he gets mad at her because she gave it emotion. So he takes her off to his kingdom in order to stand trial, and shit goes down, and now they have to rely on each other to survive. This is a small book. I feel like I could just breeze through this. The cover is beautiful. I love everything that has to do with fairies, so I am hooked. So the next book on my list, I have a couple of these books from this author already on my bookshelf. I mean, I think there's 2 here, 3 over there that I've already read, so I haven't read 2 first. I'll just get to it. It is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is about a girl who was selected to be a maiden. She's not allowed to be looked at, she's not allowed to be touched, she's not allowed to like do anything with the public or anybody ever, because she's supposed to be a gift to the gods or something like that, from what I understand. And she ends up getting feelings for this one guy, this guard, who's supposed to help her maintain that and be a maiden for the gods. And it seems like a forbidden romance, and again, like, it sounds amazing. I've only read Jennifer L. Armentrout's Lux series. I haven't read, like, I think Wicked is one of hers. I haven't read her White Hot Kiss or her Wicked. I think those are the only 2 on my shelf that are hers. But this is a big boy, and it sounds good, so maybe I'll get to this soon. You never know. I always say I hope to get to them soon, but then I never do. Next, we have The Windy by Erin Michelle Skye and Stephen Brown. This is a Peter Pan retelling, again with the more retellings. This is about Windy, who wants to be a captain, but she can't because of gender roles, and like women are supposed to stay in the kitchen and be blah blah blah. But she ends up pursuing her dream and finding a way in, and she discovers that things are not quite what they seem in the ranks. And like, it's, again, this is a small book, and I've never read a Peter Pan retelling. I know there's a few of them. I think I might actually have 1 or 2, but like, this sounded so interesting and I picked it up. So the next book we have is Oathbreaker by Audrey Gray. This is about a girl named Haven, which is ironic because my niece's name is Haven. Hi Haven. And she was saved from captivity from this prince, and now she's got to protect him. They become good friends, and then he is kidnapped from his castle or something, and she has to kind of team up with this group of immortals to go save him. And it sounds, again, interesting. I say that about every book, but if they didn't sound interesting, I would not be buying them. So the next book we have is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This is supposed to be about 3 characters who have to kill a king in order to stop a war, and apparently there's supposed to be a forbidden love thing going on there. Honestly, the back doesn't really give you very much, but I'm not going to read out all the backs because, I mean, if you're interested in the books, you can go check them out. But, so I like this cover. I have one thing wrong with this book that when it came in the mail, and I saw it, I went, I don't like that. And I don't know why, but I don't like that. Like, is that the author? I'm assuming that's the author, but it's kind of different. I mean, I like kind of the intricate details here, but then it's like, smack a picture on that, baby. Next, we have Romanov by Nadine Brandeis. I love the story of Anastasia. I've always been interested in it. I love the movie. I mean, I know the movie is not accurate to what actually happened at all. I don't even know if the Broadway play is accurate. I doubt it, since I'm pretty sure they found evidence that Anastasia is actually dead. And I think it's pronounced Anastasia. I don't know. Anyway, this is supposed to be kind of about her, except it's got kind of magic mixed in the world where she has to smuggle a spell into Serbia with the help of this soldier. But like, she can't really trust the soldier because he also works for the Bolsheviks? Is that what it was? But he works for the Bolsheviks, so she can't exactly trust him, but she slowly falls in love with him, and I'm kind of just like, oh yes, give me the enemy to lovers. Give me the friends to lovers. Give me the girls dressing up as guys. She doesn't do that in the book, but you get what I'm saying. So, again, if you guys know me, you know that I don't read very much contemporary. I don't know why, I just don't like it. I like an adventure romance. I like action and magic. I'm not 100% for normal life. But I've heard a lot about this contemporary. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it on Book Talk. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it everywhere, and it is red, white, and royal blue. And this is about the Prince of Wales and the son of the president, who they have be a woman in this book, by the way. But they get into an altercation, and in order for the Americans and the British to be friends again about the whole thing and kind of let it go, the boys kind of have to make up their differences, and I guess slowly it's an enemies to lover kind of thing, and I am here for it. Like, I'm not a huge contemporary reader, but everyone is raving about this book. But it's cute. Again, this cover is way cute, so it's gonna go down there with my contemporary TBR, and maybe I'll get to it. So we are finally on our last 2 books, and the second to last book is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I haven't read too many of her books. I haven't read any of her books. But this is about a girl who drowned and was brought back to life, but now she can kind of see into the veil of ghosts. And her family starts hosting this Ghost Most Haunted Places in the World show, and they drag her around to the most haunted places, and she ends up meeting a girl who's got the same powers as her, who can see into the veil. And it just sounds interesting. I love talking about ghosts, and I love everything that has to do with paranormal, and the cover is so creepy. And so I think I just wanted to pick this one up. Now, these books were in no particular order. I literally just stacked them on my bookshelf to do this because there were a lot of them. But the last book is Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie. This is about a ship that had an eye on it that was put into a human body and now has to deal with missing memories and revenge. And honestly, AI into a human body sounds so cool. Like, I'm excited for it. I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this book, but I read the description and I was like, put it in my cart. Sold. Okay, so that is it for this book haul. I had 18 books. I'm so excited to put them on my shelves and get to reading them. If you've read any of these books, let me know if you think they're good, if I shouldn't have bought them, give me the laydown. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Rock on!